Okay, so since the global version is kind of light, we're actually just going to combine everything in one video for this week, and we're just going to call it Should You Pull This Week? So, should you? Alright, let's look at the JP version first, because that's where the bulk of what this video is going to be about. We have Edward here, who is a fire DPS with some field effects, only single ones. I think the meta at this point is multiple on one ability, but we have 3 different fields, only 35%, but that's okay. And then after that, there really isn't much to say. He does have an AoE Fire Imperil, or Imbue, which is okay. And then the other thing you would care about is... Oh, I think the other guy has it. Okay, so I'm getting confused because I read them all at the same time. He does have 40% Fist Imperil. Okay. And he does have 8 times cap, so pretty good. And then his modifiers are the typical 650 times, which is the meta nowadays. So he has premium mods on a limited time unit. I don't think he's premium, so you know he has EX2. His vision card gives it away where it's only 130 baseline. So he's an SLB. He's just a DPS. If you like Edward, then you would use him. But if you just care about the kits and not so much about what sprite the kit is using, this guy is not really that special in my opinion. He has 8 times cap, a lot of killers, just a solid unit, but there's really nothing special about him, and that's it. He doesn't have weapon as his STMR, so now you gotta figure out a way of getting some fists on him, I guess, and that's it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give him like an 8.5, just a pretty good DPS, and that's really it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're doing the daily shard event, where sometimes they do on collaboration, so his value actually drops a little bit even further, because now you gotta pull a lot to get him to EX2 or EX3, which is never fun. Alright, so let's move on to Scar, who is also an SLB. So that's great, right guys? You guys love those. EX2 needed, of course, for the 150% Earth amp. He has some decent killer for himself, 200%. A lot of moves in here are filler stuff that you would never use, like this. This is kind of a meme. This is what I was talking about. So yes, she has 40% sword, rod, gun, and fist imperil for all enemies. So that would be something you would bring him along just for that, I think, for some instances. Because he can do some stuff, but I mean, that's pretty impressive to have all of that in one ability. On a cooldown, not in an SLB or anything like that, so not too bad. Not too bad at all. He does have 100% LB damage field, but I mean, they were even like making it seem like it's special in the live stream, when it's just like some units already have that. Cecil, the FF Type 0 unit has that as well, the support. So I don't really see why that would, if that was like 150% LB damage field, then we'd be talking, then we'd be like, oh, well, maybe we should start pulling this guy, because even though you can only use it once, for 5 turns, that's more than enough in Dark Visions. So that would have been something, but the only thing you could argue is that you don't have to bring Cecil now because of this, but you still need, sometimes you need tanks, or almost all times nowadays you need tanks in Dark Visions anyways. So he's just another standard 27 hit, 650 times damage dealer. And other than that, there's not much else to say. A lot of killers. Not a premium unit, because again, his card is different actually. It's actually 10% more, but it's still not that high. And his clothes, I don't understand why it's only 103 attack. When I looked at this STMR, I was like, is this like a 7-star unit? Is this like what's up with these stats? What's up with the 50% attack? Who cares about that? And then like, this STMR is actually really bad. It's really bad. I'm gonna give him like an 8. Because of this cooldown is saving him from being just like whatever. He's Earth, so not too much useful right now for Earth. I mean, Earth is just not bad at. And then we go to Greed, who is not an SLB. He is a Brave Shift unit. He has his own imbues. I don't even like. He didn't really do anything in his 5-star form. I don't think, right? He just mitigated. So he has some damage, I guess. Like, there really isn't much to say about his base form in terms of just what like, I don't understand what any of this even is doing. Defense scaling damage? I guess he's the defense scaling unit. It's in his base form. Or both sides. So defense scaling is kind of worthless because honestly it's basically the same as just having them as attack, because it just doesn't scale as well as the spirit one. So there isn't much to say about Greed. He does have 100 times modifier, which is actually kind of impressive though. So 100 times mod. So 350 times. Unfortunately, I wish if this was for all allies, this would be a lot more useful. But at least it has 27 hits on his Brave Shift LB, and unfortunately, it's not true Brave Shift as well. So he's okay. He's an okay Neo. It's a Neo Vision Awakening. We come to expect at this point that Neo Vision Awakenings are not always going to be good or special. He does have this thing down here which is kind of crazy, but it's 300 MP, but for a few turns you get, or one turn, what's this? 1,000 times modifier for this. We're just gonna quickly, you know, on live, we're just gonna, it's the same, it's this one here. So you get 1,000, you basically get 1,300 times modifier for this. It's still not good enough. But it's something. It's definitely something, guys. So I'm gonna give him like a 7. He's just okay. If he had true Brave Shift, he'd be a lot better, but he's just okay. He's a Neo Vision Awakening. What do you expect? Not much, right? So his clothes get 500 flat stats for himself, but the stats didn't get upgraded. Only 43 defense. Not that amazing. So okay. Let's move on to King Bradley, which is, I think, is weird because I think he's, what is he in here? So isn't he's a 5-star on global then? I remember there was like a different thing about him, so I think he's a 5-star on global, I think, right? Actually, let's investigate this live. Yeah, he's a 5-star. So this would be like a Neo Vision Awakening if it even gets it on global, but it wasn't really that special anyways. Only 50 times modifier increase on his LBs. I don't think he even really uses LBs, but his LB did get upgraded, but it's like it's still not good enough. Like, what is this? This is still bad. It's still bad, and this is his other kind of upgrade, like the small stat buffs and stuff. Like, okay, and then it's the same thing on his Brave Shift form. 50 times modifier, and only 8 times modifier for regular abilities. And LB does get upgraded, but it's just whatever. There is one character in this collab that's actually not too bad, and it might surprise you, but this is not it. This is just okay. So crown upgrade is just whatever. Unfortunately, it's just kind of whatever. But the last person we talk about in this current video, or in this collaboration, is Roy, who's actually not bad because he has 100 times modifier for his LB, and he has a store buff on top of that. So you would be able to give him 100% amp on someone else. Oh yeah, he already has 100% amp. I didn't see this part. I only saw that he has like 60% on. Okay, so he has 60% in his Brave Shift form, but 2 uses. In his base form, wait, he has 3. What? Okay, he's actually even better than I thought he was. Because then when I saw here, I was like, oh, he has 100 times modifier. That's pretty good. On top of the 60%, and so yeah, so it's like 460 times plus the store buff, which means it's gonna be like even stronger than what it's showing here because of the store buff. And on top of that, he has 100% amp. So actually, Roy actually might be the winner of this whole collab because of just that one thing where you can use it more than once. This is 2 uses, so he's gonna have a long duration of damage here, and he can use this 3 times for 100% amp. You just would have to switch, and he's true Brave Shift, So wow, this guy is definitely a lot better than he used to be. You pretty much ignore all of his chaining abilities and things like that, and you only care about using his Ray Shift LB. His base LB I don't think is really worth it. It did get upgraded, but it's not really anything you would really care about. Unfortunately, it's not good. If it was a chaining LB, it'd be a little bit better. But yeah, Roy is a surprising W for Roy. Wow. Keep in mind, this is a New Vision Awakening. This almost looks like if this was a normal unit, like this was a New Vision base unit with all the stuff that they gave him. Wow, surprising for one. Like we just looked at King Bradley's crowns and they were like whatever, and then you look at actual New Vision Awakening with your Brave Shift and store buffs and 100% amp, and then it's like wow. You don't really expect this 100 times mod. Like this almost feels like a mistake because they usually don't give strong modifiers to New Vision Awakenings or crowned units. But wow, so that's pretty good. All right, let's move to Ayaka, who you may have already guessed is this Ayaka. She has really bad healing at this point. She has really bad breaks at this point. Basically does things that characters already do in this game, like HP barrier, revives, imperils, breaks. We have better units for this. And this is on a cooldown for 5 turns and only lasts for 3 turns, so only 50% elemental peril. Someone on the global version kind of does that already and a lot better, even though it's not on a cooldown and it's LB, but a certain egg lady does this much better. You can pretty much put the egg lady, you guys know what I mean, side by side with this character, and she would be a lot better than this character by far. Like what's even going on with this? We don't need characters like this anymore, who just heal and support and barely do both. We don't need characters like this anymore. This is not like 2017 when we were in the 5-star era where we needed a support that could heal, or just bring a healer in general. We don't really need healers. Most healers are basically supports with healing added on at this point. So Ayaka is gonna like a 5 because at least she can do something, but it's nothing that special. And then for some reason some people said they wanted me to talk about Sheraton, even though she's a free unit, and I don't really talk about free units. I'm not gonna grade her because she's a free unit, so you're gonna get her either way. And she has some killers. And if you get her EX3, you have a 160% insect killer. And this is pretty decent, the charm in the staff community. But it just cures. So, okay. And then you can unlock this thing here. Increase evocation bar by 10. And then nullifies. That's not really special. There was something in here that I thought was really good. 130 times mod for LBSLB. Not that special. But she has a chaining, at least she has chaining LBSLB. And she has a lot of support. This stuff. Keep in mind, remember she's free, so I'm not going to be as harsh. I'm kind of being like whatever, but she has a store buff. Pretty decent. But like I said again, she's free. She has Quadcast. There isn't much to say about her. She's just okay. She's free, so I can't be too bad. It can't be too bad. This is actually kind of surprising though. So she can cure it and then prevent it. That's what we want to see. So this Enosuga 2 is actually pretty. I think I butchered that pronunciation, but whatever. 500 MP on that though. That's kind of insane, but. That's pretty good. I like this. Yeah, this is pretty useful in some trials and things that like to do things like that. So, pretty good. Well, yeah, she's pretty good. But the way to get her, you gotta get through that trial. You gotta get that trial first. And yeah, that's about it. So that's it. That's Sheraton. That's the week. That's this week of FFBE. Should you pull on any of the banners? Probably not. Probably just skip the whole week. Because honestly, this first batch of FMA is just kind of like whatever to me. It's just like they're just DPS and they're not really that special to me. The Ed Bros, the first FMA New Vision unit is going to get crowns in the middle of the month, so that probably would mean that there's going to be a second batch of characters, and those might be a little bit better, those might be a little bit worse. I don't know how you can get worse than what we're currently at, but that's going to be it for this video. It's already way too long. I know you guys like the longer videos for some reason, but yeah, I like to do what the people in the audience like to see. So if you guys like the combination videos, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about all these characters. Do you think they're worth it to you? Do you think it's definitely a big skip? Do you agree with the scores I gave? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll have to see you in the ratings video. Peace.